Hey guys, Ed Paget here. If you have sciatica, which is pain in your lower back, butt running down your leg, then this video is for you. All right, the first thing you need to know about sciatica is that it can be caused from three things. It can be caused from a herniated disc, it can be caused from a tight piriformis muscle, and can be caused from degeneration or stenosis. We're going to talk about all those things as we go through this video. All right, so the first thing to understand is that a herniated disc is when the disc between the vertebra moves backwards and can be pushing on a nerve. The nerve that supplies the back of the leg and down to your foot. And that's why you feel pain all the way down into your foot, even though the actual injury is in your back. The second thing to know is that the path of that sciatic nerve passes through your butt. And in there is a muscle called the piriformis. Now, sometimes that nerve actually goes through the piriformis muscle or it goes under the piriformis muscle, and in rare circumstances it can even go over the piriformis muscle. So if that piriformis muscle is tight or somehow not stretching properly, it can actually create pressure on that nerve and create those same symptoms that you get. You know, that tingling, that weakness, that sort of sometimes giving away sensation you can get down your leg, and also obviously the pain. All right, so what we need to do is figure out which one of those is causing your back pain and then treat it appropriately. Because if it really is a piriformis syndrome, you can get rid of pain in 2 minutes or less. So let's see how we do that. Okay, the first thing we want to do is try and figure out which side is tighter, the right or the left. Now, when we move our foot outwards like this, that stretches the piriformis muscle. So if we do this on one side and then do this on the other side and we see a big difference, for example, in this case, my left isn't moving very far, and I have symptoms on my left side, then we can sort of say, well, maybe that piriformis is part of the problem. I'm going to show you how to stretch that right now. Okay, so what you do is you'd simply go onto your back and take the side that's sore across this leg in front. And we make a figure 4 type shape here. Now, it's always a good idea to put a little bit of support behind your head so you don't lift it up. But in this case, I'm just lying flat on the table. Then you're going to reach through, grab hold of the other leg behind the knee. Okay, some people like to grab hold in front of the knee here, but that can irritate your knee a little bit. And then from here, you're going to pull forwards. So I'm pulling my whole knee, this side and this side, towards my chest and getting a really nice stretch into this muscle here. And when you feel that stretch, you can hold that for about 10 or 15 seconds. Now, this may cause a little bit more discomfort down to your leg because we're stretching the muscle that's already pushing on the nerve, but it should subside the longer you hold the stretch. Okay, you do that for up to 30 seconds, and you do that 2 times through. Now, if you feel some relief from that stretch, we can sort of say, well, maybe this is a piriformis syndrome. And so we're going to show you another test now just to confirm that, and then another exercise. All right, so the next test is very similar to the first one, but we're in a slightly different position. We're going to be lying on our fronts here, assuming you can get into this position and it isn't too painful for you. You bend your knees, and you're going to let your foot come out one side, and then the other foot come out the other side. And you're going to peek over your shoulder and just see, does that one move outwards the same as this one? If there's a difference, and it's the same side as your symptoms, then you can sort of say to yourself, well, I think that is the piriformis. All right, so you do the figure 4 stretch, and once you're bored of that, or you find that easy with no discomfort, I want you to get into an all fours position. Keep your back neutral so it's not rounded and it's not extended, and then simply move backwards and forwards like this. So you're getting a little stretch through your butt muscles here. Maybe you get a little bit of a sensation in the front of your hips. Don't want too much there. If you do get a little sensation in the front of your hips, take a little step, put it in front of you here, and then just move backwards and forwards like this. Okay, once we've started loosening things up and we've established it's not making anything worse, and this won't make a herniated disc worse, and it won't make any stenosis or degeneration worse either. This is a great exercise to do for all 3 positions. If I've got the tightness in my left hip here, I'm going to move my hips towards the left. So I'm moving towards you and then back. Sort of, if there's a clock face underneath me, I'm moving back at about sort of 7 o'clock, and I'm pushing my hips in that direction. And I'm trying to highlight a stretch deep into this muscle here. And so with that stretch and subsequent movement backwards, I can start exercising that muscle. And most of you will start to feel that muscle get a little bit fatigued. And that's what we want. We want it to relax a little bit. We want it to get tired. We want to give it something to think about. If you're not feeling anything here, simply take your left hand and put it onto the area where you're feeling discomfort, or put it onto your butt here and move that back. If that doesn't do it for you, you can actually take the opposite leg and just cross it across the back of that leg that you're working on. And you do this for about a minute and you will start to feel that far up. And so that's going to stretch and strengthen that pesky muscle. But next we want to know, what do we do if we think it's a herniation? Well, there's two exercises to do. The first one is what we call the McKenzie extension. So this comes from a physiotherapist, McKenzie, and he developed this with the theory that if the disc is being pushed backwards onto a nerve, if you extend the spine, it might well encourage the disc to move away from that nerve or even back into where it should be. So you're going to go up as high as you can that's comfortable. Now, initially when you do this, when you initiate the contraction with your back muscles or something to get into the position, you might feel some pain. But if you hold it for a little while, and the pain gets better, then we know this is the right thing for you. So we'll start with the elbows, and you're simply going to go up and down in this position, nice and slowly. And you can even time this with the breathing. So you breathe in, then breathe out. And breathe in, then breathe out. Good. Next, we want to go up onto the arms, like this. Now, if you know you have this degeneration or even a spondylolisthesis, which is a slippage of one vertebrae on the other, then this is not for you. If this makes your back pain worse, then this is not for you. But if you get relief from this, this could be a fantastic exercise to deal with disc pain. So I'm simply going up and down as high as is comfortable, encouraging my back to move into extension, and ultimately push that piece of herniated disc back into the spine. Okay, next, we need to think about what can we do if the spine is actually suffering from degeneration or stenosis. Well, we need to add gentle movement into the back, into the lower back, and we need to add some muscle control into the core, especially the deep core muscles, and into the muscles of the lower back. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I want you to lie down onto your backs, get comfortable in this position, and then with your breath, I want you to breathe in and arch your back a little bit, and then breathe out and push your back down towards the table. So I'm not using my hamstrings to do this. I'm not using my pelvis. I'm simply using the muscles on my tummy here. And I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, it's quite easy to breathe in and let your belly become big. And that's a good belly breath. That's a great starting point. If you breathe in and you only move your upper ribs, try and get some breath down into your belly. But I want you to actually breathe laterally. And what that means is, if you take your hands on either side of your ribs and breathe in, can you move your hands apart? So can you breathe in and move your hands apart that way? So the breath is not going out into the belly anymore. It's going out into the sides and expanding your lower back and the ribs to the side. Okay, so once we can get that type of movement going, I want you to breathe in and then arch your back. And you'll notice as you arch your back, you may feel the muscles of your lower back contracting. That's important. Conversely, the muscles in the front tend to relax a little bit, although you are holding a bit of tension in your abs, which is important. Then you're going to relax your back muscles by tensing your ab muscles, pulling that pubic bone upwards and flattening your back down as you breathe out. To test whether you're doing this correctly, you can actually breathe out and breathe out again, and you'll notice that your abs switch on. If these muscles are switched on, the muscles on the opposite side of the body will start to relax, and that's important when it comes to the lower back. Then we reverse that. You keep a little bit of tension in your abs. Breathe in. Laterally, start getting some contraction into your back muscles. Good. Now, for those of you who want to take this further, you can point your thumbs towards the ceiling and have your hands about 45 degrees out from your side and externally rotate. So you point your thumbs point downwards, bring your shoulder blades in together as you do this and arch your back. So now every muscle pretty much in my back is getting tighter. And then we go the other way, breathing out, turn the hands into internal rotation. Every muscle in my front of my chest here My abs are getting tighter, and every muscle in my back is being lengthened. Breathe in, breathe out. So that is a Hanna Somatic exercise to help reset the muscle tone in the lower abs and back and help take pressure off a degenerative or stenosed lower back, helping relieve your sciatica. So I hope you found relief from one of the exercises in this video that cover the piriformis syndrome, the herniated disc, or the degeneration. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video, which might just help you with your back problem. And if you tried this and you did find some relief, make sure you drop a comment below because I read all the comments. And if you have a question for me, ask it there and I'll reply straight away.